How's it going once again, guys? So, remember when I said I would not be playing Battlefield 2042 for a very long time because they typically have bad launches? Well, I just played 10 hours of it this week in its early access stage. I did not buy it. You have to buy like the deluxe edition in order to have played the early access. The game just came out today in its official launch, so I didn't buy it. Instead, EA Play was generous enough to give me a 10-hour long trial that I could, try the game and see how it is. Very generous considering it's EA. For those of you who don't know, EA Play is free with Game Pass Ultimate, so that's how I was able to play it for a little bit. And ooh, to say it's rough would be an understatement. It has so many problems, probably even more so than it did back in its beta state a couple months ago, which is weird. I don't know what the hell happened. Um, wow. I'm so happy I dodged a bullet anyway. I mean, I wasn't gonna get it, but I'm just glad that I was able to, like, play some of it without having to spend money on it because it is not ready yet. I don't know if there's a patch coming very soon or if it already has. I played, the last 2 hours of my trial yesterday morning, so I don't know. This is just my early access mini review, I guess you could call it. I was actually thinking about doing a full-on review because I have like dozens of recordings of the game. I don't know why I did. I just captured a bunch of recordings in case I ever wanted to show you guys a gameplay of it or whatever, um, like I do with most games anyway. So I like Conquest mode for the most part. It's just Conquest mode that the Battlefield games are always well known for. It's pretty fun when everything does work the way it's planned. The maps overall are okay, not the best. I think they're a little too big, actually, a little too spacious. There's a lot of maps where like there's not really much in between the objectives, so you're just like running across a piece of desert. I think they're a little bit too big, actually. I never thought it would be possible for me to say that in a Battlefield game, but they do feel a little too big. A couple of them, anyway. The mode itself is Battlefield. It's Conquest. Capture objectives. There's a breakthrough mode, which is kind of like Rush, where you just gotta attack the targets and try to like push the enemy back while the other side, defends the objectives. That is pretty fun as well. And there's also what's called Battlefield Portal, which is probably the best thing about Battlefield 2042. Battlefield Portal is basically custom maps based on earlier games in the series, like Battlefield 1942. There's like a World War II Battle of the Bulge, was really fun. I played like free for all in that. That was pretty cool. There is Bad Company 2, which, by the way, I forgot how amazing Bad Company 2 is. It's probably my all-time favorite Battlefield game. Um, we played Rush on one of the Battlefield Bad Company 2 maps, and it was awesome. I think most people would agree with me that Portal is the best thing about Battlefield 2042. I don't like the sound of the guns. They sound like fucking popcorn. Like they don't have like a bang or an echo. The sounds are just totally wrong. If you go from like Battlefield 3 and 4 to this one, you'll notice the decline of quality and accuracy of the sounds in the game. There is a lack of weaponry. Now, I'm usually an advocate on small but varied. A good example would be like the Doom games, where you got one shotgun or a super shotgun, and you got, a Gatling gun, a rocket launcher, plasma rifle, stuff like that. You got one of everything, but they're all varied because each gun has a very unique feel to it. Battlefield games are kind of similar. You know, most guns in Battlefield 2042 do feel distinguishable enough, But I think there's a little too little of weapons in Battlefield 2042. There's only like a few shotguns, a few sniper rifles, a couple submachine guns, and stuff like that. For a 2021 game, a shooter that has to compete with Call of Duty, which in defense of Battlefield, guns in Call of Duty mostly feel the same. Guns in Battlefield, not so much. So at least it still has that going for it. But still, you need to have more guns. I think the aiming is a little off. I don't know what's wrong with the aiming. Maybe it's just me, but I find it hard to like aim accurately. A lot of the guns have really high recoil, which is mostly accurate, but it's still kind of frustrating. I suck at aiming in Battlefield 2042, and I don't know why. The progression is too slow, and you unlock these guns way too slow. I made it to rank 15 in 10 hours, and I only unlocked like 4 guns, maybe. Yeah.
Progression is way too slow, my dude.
I don't know what the level cap is, if there even is one. I think the highest I ever saw a player was at like level 30. So maybe it's maxed out at 30 right now. I don't know. Also, lag. There's server issues a lot. Of course, this is probably just because there's a lot of people playing it. I played on Xbox One, and last gen games only have 64 player battles, whereas the next gen versions have 128 player battles. And that might have been a main reason why I decided not to do a full review, because I didn't feel like I was getting the full next gen experience. I wasn't. I was playing like, a worse, inferior version of a buggy as it already is game. That, and also having played only 10 hours, but I tried a fair bit of like all game modes within 10 hours and had a couple more hours to spare on Conquest. And so I feel like I really could have probably made this into a full length review, even though I had only played it for 10 hours. I still did almost everything the game had to offer besides those unlockables. Which leads me to, oh my god, the mode they replaced campaign with is fucking trash. It's called Hazard Zone. I only tried this like 2 times, and I could not get into it. I'm not even sure what it is exactly. It seems like a battle royale mode, but with items that you need to collect and extract with. So it's like an extraction battle royale. It's kind of like in Black Ops 4, where they replaced campaign with Blackout Battle Royale. And I just, it's not a good substitute. It's not like they're telling a story, before and after a match or whatever, or at least before. I don't know. I didn't win with Hazard Zone, so maybe there is something afterwards, but I kind of doubt it. It just seems like something they threw in there as an excuse to say that, oh, we decided to completely ditch the campaign. Here's Battle Royale, and it's a fucking shitty one at that. Now, I typically don't care for Battle Royale games, and quite frankly, I'm sick of them. The only Battle Royale game that I stuck with for a long time was Apex Legends, only because it felt solid. It felt tight. The gameplay itself was amazing. Obviously, right now, Battlefield 2042 is not tight. It's not solid. It's laggy. It's buggy. There are times where my body got stuck in place and like I could not move. And I kept running. And whenever I tried running backwards, I could see like my own body without my head. Like my head was like detached and I was somehow just like stuck in place. Like, what the hell is this, man? This better not be something from my end. Oh, scratch that. It better be something from my end. Because if that's something on their end, that's a problem. And it probably is something on their end because I saw it happen to a few more people in the same match where they just couldn't move at all. There were also a few instances in Breakout Rush mode where the match would not start at all. And thank God, oh, I forgot to mention, there's no voice chat. There's no voice chat whatsoever in the game. In a Battlefield game, there's no voice chat. Awful. But at least there's text chat. so that people can complain that the game isn't even fucking working, that the match isn't even starting. So that happened once or twice with me. There's also no scoreboard. Remember when I said that on last gen there's 64 players and on next gen there's 128 players? It didn't really feel like that to me. And I think part of the reason was that it didn't give me a scoreboard to look at. No scoreboard in a Battlefield game to show how you're doing. Things like this really shows how unfinished the game was, and probably still is, and probably will be for a little while. And that's the main reason why I want to wait to buy this game. I'm probably gonna wait until I have like a PS5 and get the PS5 version for like 25 bucks because by then the game should be really good. You know, Battlefield games, unfortunately, for a long time have been live service games where they come out in a broken, buggy state and then they get fixed over time. Maybe not so much Battlefield 5. Battlefield 5 I didn't like for different reasons. Like the campaign in that was absolutely garbage, and the multiplayer was very uninspired. It worked, but it was kind of like generic for me. Battlefield 1 I did love, and Battlefield 4 I didn't play at launch, and I heard that one had a bad launch as well. But based on what I've been hearing, I think Battlefield 2042 is the worst Battlefield launch ever. Very lackluster in content. You know, I much would have preferred, a decent 5 hour long campaign over that crappy ass Hazard Zone mode that probably not even going to be played for a long time. People are probably going to abandon that mode entirely. It's not fun. I only got bored with it after 2 matches. So, yeah, I'd take 5 hours of single player campaign over two matches, 10 minutes long of fucking Hazard Zone, man. I couldn't take it. It was confusing. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. It didn't give me any tutorials. It was tacked on as all hell, and I didn't like it at all. So, yeah, that just about covers it. Yeah, don't buy this game. If you have EA Play and you are a fan of Battlefield, I do recommend you play it for 10 hours because it's free for 10 hours with EA Play. So, I think that is nice enough, but definitely wait on this, man. I feel bad for the people who paid like $110 for this crap. Like the Ultimate Editions, are you kidding me? They're charging so much money for broken, unfinished games nowadays. It's so wrong. And who knows how long it's going to take, before it's like in a state where it should be and it should have been. So, yeah, that's gonna do it, guys. That's what I did this whole week was play Battlefield. Little unexpected, but I mean, I did enjoy it for the most part. When everything was working properly. Final score at ugh. I'm gonna give it two separate scores. Objectively speaking, it's technically a bad game. It's very flawed. I would give it like a 4 out of 10. But if you're a die-hard Battlefield fan and you love Conquest and you just love having fun with like, friends and custom games, I would definitely bring it up to like a 6 or maybe even 7 out of 10, because it does have instances of fun. Sometimes the bugs are so funny that they add a little charm to the game. Like, ragdoll physics, when you die, you like fly all over the place and your just body breaks and just goes all out of proportion and it's hilarious, unintentionally. So, yeah. 4 if you're being professional about critiquing, and 6 if you just want to have goofy fun and don't really care about bugs. Yeah, that's Battlefield 2042. That's what I played this week over the course of 10 hours. I want to say like 2 to 3 hours a day, maybe. Yeah.
The gamer gods!
Fail!